up, YouTube? It's Raining Card Games, and welcome to a brand new series that I am debuting on the channel called YouTube Plays Yu-Gi-Oh! So, let's talk about the premise of this new series. Recently, I put out a poll on my community tab asking you guys what would be a deck that you would like to see a new series revolved around, and Raidraptors won that poll. So, yeah, this series, at least this first series, the season 1, I guess, will revolve around Raidraptors. So let's talk about how this is going to work. What are you to expect in this video? Essentially, I have built a basic Raidraptor deck build that I will be taking to locals tonight. And then the premise is after I go to locals and show you guys the results and see how the deck does, you guys as my audience will get to choose
changes to make to the deck. Oh God.
Anyway, so how it will work is essentially after you see what the deck can do, you can suggest in the comments below a change that you would like to see, whether that be to the extra deck, to the side deck, or to the main deck. And then I will go through after the video has been uploaded and plenty of comments have been posted. I will go through and I will see the most popular comments as shown by how many likes did the comment get. So it basically tells me, okay, people are interested in seeing this change. And from there, what I will do is I will take, let's say, the top 3 or 5 choices for each change to the side, extra, and main deck, and I will post a YouTube poll from the most popular choices from the comments, and then I will make my decision based off the winning choice from each poll. So, for example, if someone in the comment section of the video says you should swap in 2 Droll and Lockbirds for that card, for those 2 cards in your side deck, I will then notice after a while, let's say that comment gets 20 likes. So like that's an indicator to me, okay, people are definitely interested in that change. So I will go ahead and make that one of the options in my side deck change polls. And then if that change happens to win based on percentage, I will then for the following episode make that change to my side deck. And so over the series, you guys will basically influence what changes are made to the deck and how it looks through over time. So it will be kind of interesting to see what you guys suggest. Hopefully they're good suggestions as opposed to, you know, adding a Mushroom Man to the main deck. Because, yeah, okay. Anyway, I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, so that's basically the premise of the series. It's kind of like, you know, the Twitch plays Pokemon, but YouTube plays Pokemon. You guys will decide what goes and what changes are made to the deck based, but I'm going to give it, you know, the benefit of that. Popularity will rule out, and then I will make those changes. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. So let's actually look at the basic build that I have for tonight. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have for the deck. Starting off, we have our 3 Raidraptor Tribute Lanius. Essentially, when normal or special summon, this is a Foolish Burial. There's a hard once per turn, but this is very important in getting our plays started off for the deck, sending Raidraptor cards from deck to grave. Moving on, we will have our 3 Vanishing Lanius. This is soft once per turn. During the main phase, if this card was normal or special summoned, I can special summon a level 4 or lower Raidraptor from hand. So being able to get multiple ones of these out or recycling their ability, I can basically easily build up board presence with Raidraptors. Moving on, 3 Mimicry Lanius. This is the primary target we're sending with Tribute Lanius because when this card is banished from the graveyard, I add a Raidraptor card, not just a monster, from deck to hand as a once per turn. And then on field, it also has the ability to increase all Raidraptors levels by 1. Doesn't really come up too often. It's more so the searching ability from the grave that is handy. Moving on, Lastrix. This card is very important in terms of cheating out Xyz monsters from the extra deck. Tribute, send this to grave, bring out Raidraptor Xyz. Its effects are negated, end of the turn, it's sent back to the extra deck, but we're bringing this guy out, ranking up whatever we brought out, and that way we don't have to worry about that second part of the effect. And then also during the battle phase, if I have spells or traps on the field or in the grave, I can special summon this card, gain 100 for each one, but more so it's the second effect that we're really keen on using this card for. Moving on, the interesting card of the deck is Raidraptor Fuzzy Lanius. This is an easy special summon for Raidraptors. As long as I control a Raidraptor monster, special summon it. The problem with it is, if this card's effects are used, I am locked into Raidraptor cards. I can't special summon monsters except for Raidraptor monsters the turn I use this effect, which can be very limiting, but sometimes it's a necessity. And then also when this card is sent to the graveyard, I can add another copy of Fuzzy Lanius from deck to hand. So it can deck thin. It's also, they're all dark, so it's an allure target. It's a card that I'd rather not have to use, but sometimes I do. Pain Lanius. Easy special summon. All I have to do, target a Raidraptor monster I control. Special summon, I take damage equal to either its attack or defense, whichever one is lower, and then this card becomes that card's levels. So level 4, target it. This is now level 4. I can use this for Xyz plays or Link plays quite easily, and it's all once per turn. The one Singing Lanius, this card can be special summoned as long as I control an Xyz monster. It's searchable, so it's just a searchable extender. Booster Strix, Hand Trap. If a Raidraptor card I control is basically targeted for an attack, I can banish this and destroy the attacking monster, non-targeting destruction. And then round out the monsters, 2 Ash, self-explanatory. Moving on to the rank up magic spells. Triple rank up magic Skip Force. Target a Raidraptor monster I control. Xyz monster, activate. Then I can summon out an Xyz monster 2 ranks higher using that as materials. And then also, except for the turn this was sent to the graveyard, I can basically banish this and a Raidraptor special summon a Raidraptor Xyz monster from the grave. So let's say if I'm able to bring out Big Bird gets Kaiju'd or something. Banish this, blah, blah, blah. I can special summon Big Bird from the graveyard. Rank up magic Soul Shave Force. Pay half my life points. Target a Raidraptor Xyz monster, special summon it, and then special summon a Xyz monster 2 ranks higher. It's a high cost to pay sometimes, but it is really good in cheating out certain monsters from the extra deck. 1 rank up magic Double Doom or Doom Double Force. This is target a Raidraptor Xyz that was in the grave that was destroyed by battle this turn. Special summon it, and then a monster that then use it as Xyz material to go up into something that is twice its rank. So if I have a rank 4 that's destroyed, activate. I can now have, it allows me to special summon a rank 8 with material onto the field. Rank up magic Astral Force, similar to Skip Force, 2 ranks higher. And then also the engrave effect, I can skip my draw phase, add this to hand, but then I can only special summon using this. Raidraptor Nest. If I control 2 Raidraptor monsters, I can then add a Raidraptor monster from deck or graveyard to hand as a once per turn. And this is searchable. Raidraptor Call. Target 1 Raidraptor monster I control. Special summon 1 monster with the same name from hand or deck, but then I'm locked into special summoning Raidraptors the turn I activate this card. Double Allure. They're all dark, pretty self-explanatory. Swallow's Nest. I contribute a Winged Beast type monster to special summon a Winged Beast type monster from deck that's the same level. This is a great way of spamming Vanishing Lanius and then just getting board presence quite easily. And then also potential for OTK occasionally. Called by the Grave, deal with hand traps, self-explanatory. 1 Monster Reborn for extending plays, 1 for 1 to get to Last Strix, 1 Foolish Burial to get Mimicry Lanius into Grave. And then 1 Infinite Impermanence just to help dealing with problematic monsters. Moving on to the extra deck. Starting off with the links, we have our 1 Wee Witch's Apprentice. They're all dark, easy to make, and Downward Pointing Arrows. Also, Beat Cop, more generic downward pointing arrows. Its effect is more protection, but it's just 2 monsters as opposed to 2 dark monsters, because occasionally it may come up that we can only make her. Then the Link 4s, Saryuja and Boral Sword. Draw, special summon, OTK. Self-explanatory. On to the Raidraptor Xyz monsters. We're running the 1 Force Strix. This is the search to add a level 4 Dark Winged Beast monster from deck to hand. I have other ways to search to add Raidraptors and stuff, so I feel like only 1 is really necessary considering the searchability that I have in the deck. And then the 1 Raidraptor Blade Burner Falcon also takes 2 level 4s, specifically level 4 Winged Beasts. And then if this card is Xyz summoned, if my opponent's life points are at least 3,000 higher than mine, this card can make this card gain 3,000 attack. So it's a 4,000 attack monster right off the bat. And then if this card destroys a monster by battle, I can detach however many materials and destroy that many opponent's monsters. Then moving on, our 1 rank 6 Raidraptor Revolution Falcon. This card, detach material, it can attack all monsters the opponent controls. And if this card, and then the other part of its effect, if this card is involved in battle with a monster that was special summoned on the opponent's side of the field, that monster zero attack and defense becomes 0. That's crazy. And then also, if this card has a Raidraptor Xyz material on it, once per turn I can target one monster the opponent controls, destroy it, and then the opponent takes half the damage equal to that monster's attack points. Pretty good monster to go into, actually. 2 Satellite Cannon Falcon. This card, when Xyz summoned and using a Raidraptor material, I can nuke the opponent's back row, and the opponent cannot respond to this effect. That is good. And then the second effect is a quick effect, detach a material, and then target one monster the opponent controls, and then it loses 800 attack for each Raidraptor monster in the graveyard. But more importantly also, this is a card that we want to rank up into Big Bird. Raidraptor Ultimate Falcon. This card is ridiculous. You all know it is unaffected by other card effects, period. But then also I can detach one Xyz material from this card, and if I do, all monsters the opponent controls lose 1,000 attack and their card effects cannot be activated. That is good. And then also, if this card has a Raidraptor monster as Xyz material, once per turn during the end phase, I can make all monsters the opponent controls lose 1,000 attack, and then if the opponent controls no monsters, the opponent takes 1,000 life points of burn damage. Pretty good. And then if I really want to flex, I rank that up into Final Fortress Falcon. And then if this card has a Raidraptor material as Xyz, it's unaffected by card effects. And then once per turn, I can detach one material from this card, and then return all banished Raidraptor monsters back to the graveyard. And then up to twice per turn, if this card destroys a monster by battle, I can banish a Raidraptor Xyz monster from the graveyard. This card can attack again. This is crazy, but I don't know how often I'll be able to make Final Fortress. And then for other Xyz monsters, Utopia, because we're running rank 4s, and because we have rank up magic cards in the main deck, Utopic Zexal for the Zexal lock. And then to round out the extra deck, 1 Cyber Dragon Infinity, Soul Shave Force can easily bring this out with any of my rank 4s, and then I can drop an Infinity. Pretty self-explanatory, that's a good card. Moving on to the side deck, 2 Nibiru, because we want to deal with monsters in an easy way to clear boards. Double Effect Veiler, especially for going second. Speaking of going second, Pankratops at the 1, unfortunately. And then we're also running the 1 Ghost Ogre. And then, as a tech option, because they're all dark, Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Because all my monsters are dark, and if I'm going up an opponent who uses dark monsters, this is a pretty good choice to swap into the extra deck. Moving on, spells. Triple Dark Ruler no more. This card is great for going second because this deck is not the best at breaking boards. So, yeah. Double Cosmic for back row. The Super Poly to bring out their Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Twin Twisters for further back row disruption. And then the 1 Evenly Match to help finish out if we are going second. That's going to do it. This is going to be interesting. Okay, so, yeah, that is going to be the deck profile for what we're going to be dealing with tonight. And then afterwards, you guys feel free to leave in the comments what you think should be changed to the extra side or main deck. I'd love to hear your options, and the most popular choices will be added to the polls for the following episode. Now, as always, if you guys haven't already done so, please like and subscribe. And then if you just want to leave a general comment, not regarding to any changes, feel free to do so as well. And follow us on Instagram if you want regular updates on what we're doing with the channel. And then also in the description, I will post the actual rules for the series itself if you just want a quick refresher. And yeah, that's going to do it for me right now. Let's go ahead and get some duels out of the way.
Alright, so let's go through the gameplay of the matches for today. So for round 1, we go up against Orcust, fun enough. And yeah, we basically get tramped both times. Unfortunately, for the both times we go, our opening hands, we do not see any rank up magic spells, which is so unfortunate because we have actually the tools to go into stuff like Big Bird and everything. So I had plenty of X, obviously you see on the field. I had the last Strix and everything on field, but like nothing to do with it. It's just there as a body. I have no way basically to get into any of my powerful monsters. So game 1 takes it, and then game 2, and I actually get to go first. Same thing happens. I have all the tools I need, but unfortunately I can't get past anything further than a rank 4 just because I have no rank up magic spells. So that was kind of unfortunate. So obviously he's able to pretty much go through his most of the full combos in his deck, and he's able to just, take me out. Oh, excuse me, take me out for that entire duel. So I lose to Orcus 0-2. And that's all she wrote. All right, and then for round 2, we go. Actually, this is technically round 3 because round 2 we had a bye. Interestingly enough, but for round 2 or 3, sorry, we go up against Burning Abyss, which is really interesting. It's kind of like a weird turbo version with dangers and the Gizmek thrown in for the mix, but I don't know what I'm going up against at the start, so I go into Zexal, and I have him on a Zexal lock for a few turns, which is pretty cool. But unfortunately, a 2K Zexal isn't able to beat over that Sea Archiver, so eventually I just keep on going through my plays, seeing what I can go through, and I'm able to get out Big Bird with material, and I'm even able to, inflict damage with Big Bird. But ultimately, he draws into enough dangers, and he goes into Boral Sword, one of the few things that can run over Big Bird quite easily, so he takes the first game. Oh boy. Anyway, moving on to game 2. I opt to go first again, and I draw into Planet Negates, but I'm able to end on a Revolution Falcon. And I interact a bit, but ultimately this game was kind of more interesting. It's just like trying to figure out how on earth am I going to slow him down, and I am able to go into battle with Revolution Falcon, and yeah, this deck is so interesting just because of what I can do. I even am able to go into Blade Burner Falcon, and because my life points are less, or 3,000 less than him, thanks to Soul Shave Force and bringing out the Revolution Falcon earlier, Blade Burner Falcon is a 4K body, and I'm able to bring him down to like 3,000 life points, but he's able to get rid of it with Nightmare Unicorn, and then he just is quickly able to get game on board, and he takes the match. Round 4, I go up against Blackwings, so the spiritual predecessor to Raidraptors. It's interesting. It was an interesting matchup. I actually played against this guy in just for the bye, just like for a fun round, but I actually was surprised that we actually got to play each other in round 4. So I make a go into all my materials and make a Boral Sword, and then he drops the Blackwing Trap that basically acts as a Mirror Force, but even better, banishes all my attack position monsters. So I'm like, all that resources to go into Boral Sword were wasted. And then he tribute summons his Kaiju just so he can beat over, but same thing as the last matchup. Blade Burner, because my life points are 3,000 less than him, gains the 3,000 attack. So he's a 4K beat stick, which I can easily summon, which honestly, just building up enough monsters on board, I'm able to clear him out and take the match. And then moving on to the second matchup, more or less the same thing. I'm able to just establish my board. I actually have rank up magic spells in hand, and I'm actually able to quite easily take it. So it's interesting to see how, when I have rank up magic spells in hand, I can actually make plays. And then also being able to summon Satellite Cannon Falcon to nuke back row is pretty nice. Moving on, this is actually a fun duel that I had, but since I had, another bye, I figured I'd give you guys 4 matches to look at what the deck can do. This is actually going up against ABC, of all things. So this is me just going into what I can, and Soul Shave Force going into Cyber Dragon Infinity is always handy, having that negate on field. Despite the negation power of Wee Witch, it's just a link ladder climb, so I can go into Boral Sword, and I'm able to just negate, take him down. When this deck has the materials that I can go to on field to make my negates, to bring out big monsters, it works. It's just a matter of, do I have the rank up magic spells I need in hand? But yep, that's going to do it for the matches for today.
Okay, so interesting record. It had some, not exactly what I was hoping, but hey, this is episode 1. And you guys now have the opportunity to make some changes. So please feel free to go down to those comments and let me know what changes you'd like to see in the extra deck, side deck, and main deck. You can make a change or suggest a change for all three or just one. It's up to you. The most popular comments in the comment section will go to the polls, and then from the polls I will choose the most popular option from there to make the change for the next episode. And then also, if you guys haven't been following on the community polls and stuff that I've been posting on my YouTube page, you guys seem to want a monthly Q&A, but in order to have that happen, I will need at least 10 questions for the 31st for this month of January. So if you guys want a question and answers video for January, I'm going to need the comments or the questions by the latest tomorrow so that I can have the video up on Friday, which is the 31st. But either way, that's going to do it from me. I'm going to eat something for dinner because it's late. You guys have at it in the comment section, and please have mercy on the Raidraptors. Pass turn.